connecting neighborhoods across the Treasure and Magic Valleys, telling stories from within our communities. This is Good Morning Idaho.
Hey everybody, happy Friday and welcome to Good Morning Idaho. I'm senior reporter Roland Barris. Good to have you along into our second hour this morning, getting you through a Friday morning, and we've got a lot in store for you this morning from our large team of neighborhood reporters like Greenlee Clark this morning, who's going to bring us an update on that huge Highway 16 interchange. Construction's been underway for a while and it's got all sorts of significant traffic changes for the next few years. We'll let you know what the latest is. Also, Sahana Patel gives us an exclusive look at the brand new Owyhee Early Learning Center, now redesigned to meet the needs of the Treasure Valley's tiniest students. But first, it is time to check on our weather with Sophia Cruz. It is fair season, and she's at the Western Idaho Fair this morning, kicking things off. And I know you're right over there by the elephant ears, but they're not open this morning, unfortunately.
No, they aren't. But hey, later you can get some deep fried Snickers here. It looks like they have all the foods you need, especially if you love fair food. The Western Idaho Fair is going to be the spot for you to visit today. Now, our neighborhood of the day is Garden City. So speaking of coming out here, lower 90s if you are. Nice and sunny throughout the day. We'll slowly see some hazy skies, but if you're heading out into the Treasure Valley this evening, overall, we'll all be in those 90s through 7 o'clock at least. If you have any late afternoon or evening plans, or maybe happy hour goes a little later, we won't judge you, but it is going to be pretty warm out there. You'll get 8 o'clock. Upper 80s. So warm day ahead of us, not scorching hot like we saw at the beginning of the week. So it looks like Mother Nature's giving us some much needed relief, Roland.
Sounds great, especially going to Leonard Skinner tonight. That's going to be fun. I'm checking that out, and it's part of the Albertsons Boise Open going on right now as well. Well, we start this morning with an update on the rock fire that is now burning 2,100 acres just south of Tamarack Resort. It's got a lot of people nervous. Thanks to calmer winds and cooler temperatures, firefighters were able to hold the rock fire to minimal growth yesterday, but crews are still working aggressively this morning to keep the flames at bay. Our Brady Caskey is up at the resort and shows us the scene.
Busy skies over Lake Cascade Thursday as crews continued battling the rock fire.
We have currently about 200 personnel on this fire, several hand crews, several engines, I think 20 different aerial resources, from very large air tankers, other various fixed wing and helicopter assets as well.
The fire still sits at 0% contained, and breezy conditions are fueling the spread of flames.
That said, helicopters, large air tankers, super scoopers aren't always the magic ticket to putting out a fire, but they definitely help out a lot. They really help us build a containment line. They slow down the fire spread.
Aerial resources work with ground crews to target areas they want to protect, like the Tamarack Resort.
The main bulk of the fire for the rock fire is outside just south of our boundary, but there are a few spots that have hopped into, if you're familiar with Tamarack Resort, the staircase area.
Beth Bowman with Tamarack Resort tells me they have their snow machines working around the clock across the mountain to add moisture to the air.
We extend our deepest gratitude to the local firefighters, local community and efforts, and even our own staff who are working tirelessly around the clock to help keep Tamarack Resort safe and help combat the situation.
For Idahoans like Scott Montgomery, wildfires are all too familiar.
So we wanted to see the plains. We have a place in Warm Springs Mesa in Boise. We had 5 fires all the way around us.
The U.S. Forest Service has issued closures for the Boise National Forest and Payette National Forest to the public until further notice, so that firefighters can do their jobs safely. Reporting in Donnelly, I'm Brady Caskey for Idaho News 6.
Heads up if you ever drive through this intersection at State Highway 16 and Highway 44. Big changes are already impacting traffic with construction underway on a complete new interchange. I'm your Star Neighborhood reporter, Greenlee Clark, with what you need to know to navigate the changes.
I think it'll be good eventually when it gets done, but it is going to bottleneck, some traffic. That's to be expected with construction.
Star resident Ray Hurst is keeping a positive perspective on the construction near his home. He knows how helpful the future highway will be for neighbors heading south from Emmett and other areas around Star. With very few concerns, he did mention how much street noise they already experience in the neighborhood. Expecting even more with the added Highway 16 interchange at 44.
If they could put a barrier in place on the overpass, that might help alleviate some of the noise.
Here's a look at traffic in the existing intersection around noon on a Thursday. I saw construction crews putting trenches and gas lines in place, and although all lanes were open at the time, lane restrictions are expected through construction. It's a project ITD says is long overdue.
This interchange is part of State Highway 16, which is going to be the first new freeway in Idaho in 4 decades.
ITD spokesperson Jill Yeomans tells me they'll do whatever they can to minimize impacts for drivers. But there will be some lane closures, flaggers, delays, and occasional detours with reduced speeds.
We're very excited about it because it's going to help thousands of travelers better travel through the Treasure Valley.
Construction started this week with completion anticipated in 2027. So until then, for neighbors like Ray, just keep in mind.
There's going to be traffic. Construction, as we all know, has been going on for years now. So just be courteous to one another and, play nice out there.
Neighbors are invited to learn more about this project at meetings later this month. You can find all those details on our website at idahonews6.com. I'm your Star Neighborhood reporter, Greenlee Clark, for Idaho News 6.
The summer season at Bogus Basin is drawing to an end as the mountain is shifting to weekend-only operations until winter. Starting next week, they'll be open Friday through Sunday, and once Labor Day hits, they'll shift to just Saturdays and Sundays. Music on the mountain events will continue through the end of the month.
After decades of sitting dormant, this plot of dirt in West Boise is finally getting an upgrade. I'm neighborhood reporter Riley Shoemaker, where the city marked the first step towards transformation for Charles F. McDevitt Youth Sports Complex.
The 8 undeveloped acres sit alongside the park's busy baseball fields, home to the Northwest Ada Little League. But until now, it's been little more than an overgrown patch of weeds and piles of dirt along Eagle Road.
Now we're going to have a whole new complex for the neighborhood to enjoy here.
The city set aside $1.2 million for the makeover to better serve West Boise. Parks and Rec leaders say it checks an important box in their mission to make sure every Boise neighborhood has access to top-tier park amenities.
You've got play facilities now. You have, places where people can ride their bike. You have a pump track. We've got walking paths. Now all of a sudden you have something that people can really utilize.
City leaders say what makes this project even more exciting is the strong community support from nearby neighborhoods to council members who push to make it happen.
It's been great. The Centennial Neighborhood Association has been awesome to work with. And so anytime you can add more amenities that involve the community, engage the community, that's going to make for a more vibrant and healthy community.
And those neighbors can hardly wait.
Well, it's fantastic. You can't imagine Eagle Road is the busiest road in Idaho, and everyone's driving by for years and years as the patch of dirt has been laying there.
Kathy Graham tells me she can already picture the trails full of walkers, the dog park bustling with neighbors, and families enjoying the outdoor play areas and picnic spots.
People everywhere, a place for people to gather, bring their friends, bring their family, and enjoy this beautiful park in Boise.
The new space is set to open in 2026. I'm neighborhood reporter Riley Shoemaker, Idaho News 6.
The 36th annual Albertsons Boise Open is officially underway. Some of the best golfers in the world teeing off at Hillcrest Country Club, the final stop of the Corn Ferry Tour. It's a rite of passage for the pros with PGA cards on the line. Last night, fans got a show from Darius Rucker with Leonard Skinner set to play tonight, followed by Brothers Osborne on Saturday. Tickets for today and tomorrow are sold out, but there's still room to join on Sunday when a champion will be crowned. We hope to see you out there at this week's Albertsons Boise Open. Be sure to join us Sunday morning right here on Idaho News 6 for a special live presentation ahead of the final round. Coverage from the beautiful Hillcrest Country Club starts at 8 a.m. After the break, a preview of the high-stakes meeting between President Trump and Vladimir Putin in Alaska later today as protesters in Anchorage make their discontent heard.
All right, everybody, we've been here at the Western Idaho Fair this morning. It's nice and cool to start the day. If you're waking up with us, here's what you can expect if you're heading out here. As we make our way until 11 a.m., we'll be sitting in those upper 70s. Into this afternoon and later evening, we stop at the lower 90s. How nice is that? Now, I'll be showing you the rest of the weekend coming up in just a bit.
Great summer day, everyone. All right, it is 11 minutes past the hour. Let's take a look at your national headlines on this Friday morning. The Texas legislature will try one last time to reach a quorum before calling it quits on the latest special session. State Democrats are continuing their walkout over proposed congressional redistricting maps. At least 100 of 150 lawmakers need to be present for the State House to conduct official business. So Texas Governor Greg Abbott has pledged to call one special session after another until the Democrats return. Along with discussing new congressional maps, the special session is also addressing disaster recovery funding. Meanwhile, California Democrats are expected to unveil their own set of redrawn congressional maps today. Never have maps gotten so much attention, right? Governor Gavin Newsom must get a voter backing to change the maps. He plans to call a special election on November 4th to ask voters to approve the new maps that would give Democrats a 5-seat advantage. Lawmakers are also asking for the power to redraw maps for the next 3 elections without voter approval, but only if Texas or other states redraw their maps during the decade rather than when new census data is released. And iconic tractor maker John Deere, it's been around forever, big part of Idaho, says that tariffs are taking a toll on its bottom line. The company estimates tariffs could cost it $600 million this year alone. John Deere already blamed tariffs for $300 million in costs for 2025, contributing to a drop in quarterly profits and sending its stock down 7%. Now to the countdown for the Trump-Putin summit going on in Anchorage, Alaska today. President Trump says he has high hopes for the meeting and is promising severe consequences if Putin refuses to make a deal on Ukraine. But he also admits there is a chance that they will leave the summit with no deal. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with the details.
President Trump scheduled to meet with Vladimir Putin on U.S. soil. The leader is set to meet on a U.S. military base in Anchorage, Alaska, expected to discuss terms for ending Russia's invasion of Ukraine, along with nuclear arms control and trade agreements.
I think that President Putin would like to see a deal. I think if I weren't president, he would take over all of Ukraine. But I am president, and he's not going to mess around with me.
Putin is praising Trump's, quote, energetic and sincere efforts to stop the hostilities. Ukrainian President Zelensky was not invited to today's summit. President Trump suggesting the meeting with Putin could open the door for a second meeting that would include Zelensky.
I think President Putin will make peace. I think President Zelensky will make peace. We'll see if they can get along. And if they can, it'll be great.
Still, President Trump admitted yesterday he thinks there's a 25% chance they'll leave the summit with no deal. Meanwhile, across Anchorage, Alaska, protesters seen waving Ukrainian flags and holding signs that say Alaska stands with Ukraine.
I have no hope it's going to solve anything. I am afraid that Trump is going to try to commit to something which he has no right to commit to.
Russia invaded Ukraine and they need to leave. There's nothing to negotiate.
Now, Putin is bringing his financial minister with him to the summit. Experts believe he will likely offer economic incentives in exchange for Trump agreeing to lift U.S. sanctions on Russia. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
When we get back, we're looking at grocery prices as companies grapple with the new cost of Trump's tariffs. The wholesale price of vegetables has skyrocketed in recent weeks.
Sophia Cruz with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
All right, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday to you. TGIF, thank goodness it's Friday. Some of us getting ready to start the weekend, and while we're doing so, you're going to notice that it's actually going to be really nice and comfortable. Temperatures are pretty near normal at the moment, so take a look at what's happening right now. We're getting this southwesterly flow. What this is doing for us necessarily is just also providing some relief from that heat that we saw leaking now that that ridge has really shifted back off and away from us, but also it's going to bring in some monsoonal moisture. So we are going to look at some chances of scattered storms as we move through our weekend together. Here's a look at the village of Marin. You can see those nice cumulus clouds hanging out with us this morning. Nice sunny start to the day. Temperatures also look pretty good, mid-60s, so you'll feel that nice cool air as you walk outside. You may just want the light jacket, but otherwise you should be okay. All right, let's talk about our future smoke now that we have the fire near Tamarack and really several other fires upwards in northern Idaho. We need to talk about it because it is going to get pretty dense if you're closer to the west central mountains. Throughout Treasure Valley and Magic Valley, it stays pretty light, so it'll contribute to those hazy skies you see throughout your afternoon. It does clear out through Saturday morning, but by the afternoon, we'll see it slowly build back in again. As far as our air quality goes, we still look good for today and tomorrow, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do see it hover near that moderate category as that lighter smoke starts to move through the end of the day. But as far as right now goes, you should be okay for any outdoor activities you want to do this weekend. Only thing I want to warn you about is that we do have a red flag warning in place still across eastern Idaho. So this is through 9 o'clock today. We saw it yesterday, extended through 10. Today is the same story, but through 9 p.m. We have critical fire conditions where you see those areas shaded in pink, so they're Magic Valley and as you make your way all the way towards Alpine. Now, a big part of this is because we are looking at those scattered storms. So remember that monsoonal moisture, we're getting that southerly flow. It's affecting that moisture into our area, bubbling up some storms. We could see some of these storms bring in some strong outflow gusts upwards towards 65 miles per hour, but also we just have some breezy winds. So light breeze will follow us through our Friday and into our Saturday afternoon with gusts upwards towards 20 miles per hour. That combined with our really hot and dry conditions again doesn't just make for the best, really, it just makes for all the ingredients you need for fires to get started. So if one were to start, it would spread rapidly, so avoid outdoor burning today. Through the evening, there are those isolated storms coming through, not widespread impacts. It'll be a few isolated showers rolling through. By Saturday morning, it's all quiet. We wake up with a few clouds, and then that's when we start to see this frontal system approach. So you see from Spokane all the way down to Bend in Oregon, that's that frontal system moving in. It develops those scattered to isolated storms through the afternoon. We don't really notice too much change, but I want you to note that through our Saturday, you will be looking at some rain if you are moving through Malheur County or anywhere upwards towards our west central mountains. It's going to be a lot quieter here in the upper Treasure Valley, but if you're in those mountains, scattered storms are going to follow. So heads up in that front, but again, it's still going to be a pretty good weekend for us here. As far as what your 7-day forecast is showing, here's a good look at it. You've got lower 90s through at least tomorrow, then upper 80s into Sunday, and then temperatures reach the mid-90s by next week.
Attention shoppers, be on the lookout for veggieflation. New figures show the wholesale price of vegetables, the price supermarkets pay before the veggies make it to the produce aisle, skyrocketed in recent weeks, rising by nearly 39% between June and July. That's the biggest jump since March 2022 and the biggest jump ever recorded during a summer month.
Yeah, tariffs are playing a huge impact, especially on the supply chain. But when you think about vegetables and other things that we see in grocery stores, it's not just coming from the U.S. When things are coming from other countries, the suppliers, the products involved, it's all having an impact.
The price spike in veggies was revealed in a monthly report called the Producer Price Index, or PPI, which tracks prices that businesses pay for products. It's different from the inflation report issued earlier this week that looked only at prices on products already in stores.
PPI is more of a forward indicator because that's really what businesses are actually paying. It takes time for the actual consumer to see it. So PPI being more of a canary in the coal mine.
Big retailers like Walmart and Target have indicated they'll try to absorb some of the costs associated with tariffs. But with price increases on new inventory, analysts say it's only a matter of time before consumers feel the pinch, not just in the produce aisle.
It was a matter of time till consumers are going to essentially pay the tariff, pay the tax. And now it's something from vegetables to other things that we've seen in grocery stores and even what we've seen in electronics. It's now going to start to come to the consumer.
Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
In Gooding, fair fun and rodeo action as an iconic event celebrates 100 years. The Gooding County Fair and Rodeo has offered the Magic Valley a week packed full of action every summer since 1925. I'm your Gooding neighborhood reporter, Joey Martin, where the century celebration has kicked off here in Gooding with a parade through town and the first night of the Gooding Pro Rodeo.
Technically founded in 1916, the Gooding County Fair moved from Wendell to Gooding in 1925. Now, 100 years later, neighbors are celebrating the milestone.
What do you guys all think of the parade?
It's awesome! Yeah, it's awesome! Great!
We get to see a lot of family go by on the side. We got family on the rides going by. We're waiting for them to come by so we can catch candy from them.
Yeah!
The parade kicked off all the festivities Wednesday night before all eyes turned to the pros at the annual Gooding Rodeo.
When you get this crowd involved, I liken it to an NFL or a college football stadium.
Back in 1925, to celebrate the new fair location, a handful of cowboys decided it needed a show. And that's when the Gooding Rodeo was born.
It's hard to describe Gooding to people. The community is only 3,600 people, but we're going to draw so many more than that to this rodeo because everybody in this region wants to come see and experience Gooding Pro Rodeo.
100 years after those humble beginnings, that small rodeo has grown into one of the top PRCA events in the country.
This is the top 40 rodeo among the 700 PRCA events. So we have the type of money that draws the contestants here. We also have the type of livestock that draws contestants here.
With hundreds of the world's top rodeo stars competing, it's a show you don't want to miss. But tickets might be hard to come by.
We're actually sold out Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but I mean, next year, get your tickets for Wednesday night or try to get your tickets early for Friday and Saturday because those sell out really early.
The Gooding County Fair and Rodeo runs until Saturday. For upcoming events and details, head to IdahoNews6.com and click on this story. Reporting in Gooding, I'm your neighborhood reporter, Joey Martin, Idaho News 6.
All right, thanks for joining us this morning on Good Morning Idaho. Happy Friday, everyone. It's 6:26, and we've got a lot more in store in our last half hour this morning. Here's what's still to come from your neighborhood reporters.
An exclusive look inside the Oahe Early Childhood Learning Center, set to open doors to students next Monday.
In Caldwell, it's the 101st Caldwell Night Rodeo where fans are gathering to celebrate this historic event.
Now we'll look outside from the Treasure Valley Chevy Dealers Tower Cam.
Connecting neighborhoods across the Treasure and Magic Valleys, telling stories from within our communities. This is Good Morning Idaho.
Hey, welcome back to Good Morning Idaho on this Friday, everyone. I'm senior reporter Roland Barris. It's good to have you along. We get you through into the weekend here this morning, and we've got a lot to get to from our large team of neighborhood reporters this morning, like Victoria Rodriguez, bringing us to a sold-out night 2 of the Caldwell Night Rodeo with more bronc and action set for tonight and tomorrow. What a crowd. That was just massive. Plus, in this week's Idaho Backroads, our Steve Dent highlights the beauty of rural Idaho, taking us to the serene pools of Goldbug Hot Springs. It's quite a hike, but apparently worth it. Let's get the latest, though, to kick things off this half hour with Sophia Cruz and the weather. Good morning, Sophia. You're down there at the Western Idaho Fairgrounds getting ready for fair time.
Yeah, everyone's getting ready for fair time today. It's Friday. TGIF rolling and TGIF to you at home. As far as our weekend goes, it's going to be a good one for us here. It's not going to be too hot, but it will be, again, still toasty. You've got lower 90s through at least Saturday, upper 80s into Sunday. If you're coming out here to the Western Idaho Fair, you'll sit with those 70s to start the day, but by the end of it, it'll be in those 90s. So if you bring a light jacket, maybe you're getting that early start to the day and you're like, oh, it's a little chilly outside, you won't need it for this afternoon. But make sure you're hydrating while you are coming out here. I know it's not as hot as what we saw at the beginning of the week, but the sun is still going to be beaming down here. So good news is, Roland, it's Friday and people have all weekend to enjoy this nice fair.
It's going to be fantastic. Thanks very much, Sophia. Turning now to the news. And the brand new Oahe Early Childhood Learning Center, which is getting ready to welcome a new class of Treasure Valley preschoolers on Monday. Our Sahana Patel gives us an exclusive look inside.
Outside the new Oahe Early Childhood Learning Center, it may look like construction is in full swing. But inside, final preparations are underway to welcome Boise's youngest students. I'm your Boise Bench neighborhood reporter, Sahana Patel, and I got an exclusive look inside and the role this space fills for the surrounding neighborhoods. What are you most excited about for school?
Making forms.
As summer break comes to an end for Boise Bench preschoolers, teachers at the new Oahe Early Childhood Learning Center are preparing to welcome more than 200 students.
This building is meant for and built for and thoughtfully planned for age 3 to 5-year-olds.
We've been bringing you continuing coverage on the school's transition from a K-6 campus since back in April 2024. Before the school district made the decision, public records show enrollment trailed nearby Hillcrest and Whitney Elementary by more than half. This summer, crews started renovating, turning the existing space into an environment specifically built for tiny learners.
Down to new playground, water fountains being lowered, tiny toilets in our bathrooms, and just the flow and intentionalness in our learning spaces.
Parents and students can get their first look and meet their teachers this Friday. On the Boise Bench, I'm your neighborhood reporter Sahana Patel for Idaho News 6.
From bareback riding to steer wrestling, the Caldwell Night Rodeo has been in full swing since Tuesday night. I'm your Canyon County neighborhood reporter Victoria Rodriguez here at the Caldwell Night Rodeo, where the energy has been just as high as opening night. Now, in its 101st year, the rodeo continues to draw sellout crowds, all here for the adrenaline, tradition, and community spirit. Fans packed the arena early, filling the stands for another night of action.
Invite everybody to come, but unfortunately we're sold out, like I mentioned. But great time. Thank you to the community for the great support. Thank you to our volunteers, over 400 plus volunteers that help us to put this event together.
Each night has its own theme, and tonight it's CNR Strong, honoring those battling cancer. For fans, it's more than a competition. It's about carrying on a tradition that's been part of Caldwell for a century. The Caldwell Night Rodeo runs through Saturday, with gates opening at 5:30 every day and main event starting at 6:30. I'm your Canyon County neighborhood reporter Victoria Rodriguez in Caldwell, Idaho News 6.
It's been a dry summer, and the city of Caldwell is urging residents to conserve irrigation water so there's enough to last the season. The residents in the Caldwell Municipal Irrigation District are asked to water every other day. Odd days for those with odd-numbered addresses, and even days for those with even-numbered addresses. The city says overwatering is wasteful and even counterproductive as it simply runs off.
People are cuckoo for pickleball and most of the time keep these 12 courts at Frontier Park totally packed. But there could be more courts on the way. Here at Harmon Park. I'm your Twin Falls neighborhood reporter Lorian Nettleton, checking in on the city's preliminary decisions on which park projects to prioritize.
I come out probably 4 or 5 days a week.
Holy smokes,
yeah,
that's a lot of pickleball.
I know.
I found Christy Hodges playing pickleball with friends at Frontier Park after some of the usual morning crowds had dispersed.
I love it. The
Okay.
community's great, friends are great. It's just an awesome way to get exercise and meet people.
The city's only courts currently are at Frontier Park, but earlier this week, Twin Falls City Council added new pickleball courts at Harmon Park to their tentative 2026 budget. City Council is looking at putting 4 courts over at Harmon Park. Have you heard about that? What do you think?
I haven't, but that would be amazing. I would love it.
So this is an old asphalt court that has now gotten itself so degraded that we have to rebuild it.
Parks and Rec Director Wendy Davis told me, pending approval, 2 of these 3 tennis courts would remain, making 5 full courts at Harmon. That makes league play and tournaments a possibility.
They only use those right now, obviously, because you could not play a real match on these courts right now.
The 3rd tennis court would be converted into 4 pickleball courts, satisfying some of the public demand.
I really am excited about the fact that we're giving this park some love.
In addition to new courts, Harmon will also see the first step towards an expanded skate park.
So the very first phase that we got funded on Monday night is the lighting phase.
Future plans allow for features to be built individually in hopes of attracting community partnerships to help pay for the expansion.
To have some of these amenities that are aging and need a kind of a facelift is really showing some commitment to this space.
The public hearing and potential adoption of the city's 2026 city budget is set for Monday, August 25th. I'm your Twin Falls neighborhood reporter, Lorian Nettleton, Idaho News 6.
25 minutes before the hour, let's take a look now at what's happening today in your neighborhood. Hey, the 36th annual Albertsons Open is back for day 2 today. Leonard Skinner's going to hit the stage for tonight's show, and tickets for today and tomorrow, we should mention, are sold out, but there's still room to join on Sunday when a champion's going to be crowned and see some amazing golf. If you are opting to stay at home, though, we will have live special coverage starting at 8 a.m. Sunday ahead of the final round of the tournament. Meridian Parks and Rec proud to present the return of Connections Credit Union Kleiner Park Live. The free concert series features local live music every other Friday night in the park's band shell from 7 to 9. Tonight's show features classic rock and roll performed by Redstone. And British indie rock band Glass Animals performing tonight at the Ford Idaho Center. The group took over charts in 2020 with their song Heat Waves, which has now amassed nearly 3.5 billion listens on Spotify. The show is set to start at 8 p.m. and tickets are on sale now.
This week's Made in Idaho, we go inside a North End greenhouse that has been blooming for nearly a century. In Boise's North End, there's a place where the air smells of fresh soil, and the stories grow as richly as the flowers. For nearly a century, Edwards Greenhouse has been a constant, blooming through generations, seasons, and change. I'm neighborhood reporter Riley Shoemaker, and for this week's Made in Idaho, we're stepping inside a landmark rooted in Idaho history.
For 95 years, Edwards Greenhouse has stood in this very spot. Started in 1930 by Garnet Edwards' grandfather.
My name is Garnet Edwards, and I am the 3rd generation.
It began as a truck garden, delivering produce door to door. Now the greenhouse grows a wide variety, from vegetables and herbs to colorful blooms like poinsettias and Easter lilies. Started right here from seed.
We grew food, delivered door to door, and then went on to start growing annuals and perennials and things like that.
Open year-round, they also offer gardening and craft classes, floral design workshops at the cutting garden, and summer music nights in the gazebo. And it's still family-run, heading into its 4th generation, with Garnet's daughters now taking the lead.
They are actually taking it over, and I'm stepping back. I come when they need me. Both my youngest daughter and my middle daughter are handling the business beautifully, along with one of the best staffs you can have.
Some staff members have been here for decades, like Rob Smith, who first started in high school.
I keep coming back, so it's a testament to how amazing Garnet and the Edwards family and this place is.
Edwards Greenhouse, where nearly 100 years of Idaho history continues to grow. I'm neighborhood reporter Riley Shoemaker, Idaho News 6.
All right, we're here at the Western Idaho Fair, and if you are planning to come, it's going to be a wonderful day to attend. Now, I will say throughout your morning, it's nice and chilly. Grab the light jacket as we start to make our way into this afternoon, and the later evening, we'll be stopping at the lower 90s. Plenty of sunshine today, and this is just the start of a good weekend.
In this week's Idaho Backroads, we take you to Gold Bug Hot Springs. This one has been on my list for a long time. I'm your Idaho Backroads neighborhood reporter, Steve Dent, and welcome to Gold Bug Hot Springs.
You have to work to get here, but the serene pools make every step worth it.
I think we're getting close. I think we're getting real close.
In between Salmon and Chalice lies a natural wonder. And after visiting Gold Bug Hot Springs, it's easy to see why this is one of the most popular hot springs in Idaho. And people come from all over to experience the magic of this crystal clear water.
It's amazing. First time out here, and we are so surprised. Our friends actually came here. So it came recommended to us. It's amazing.
Yeah, the hike is worth it, definitely.
Getting to Gold Bug Hot Springs takes some effort. Immediately, you have to climb. The beginning of the trail goes through private property on an easement. so if you have a dog, you need to keep it on a leash until you get to this gate. Overall, it's nearly 4 miles round trip, gaining 900 feet of elevation. Probably not the best idea to hike here midday in August.
It's been a pretty brutal hike.
But once you reach Gold Bug Hot Springs, you can immediately change gears and relax.
It's the best hot spring there is to hike to.
I thought the allure of Gold Bug would be the view, and it's pretty spectacular, but I came away surprised at how many pools it features, with the hottest ones at the top. But on this day, the cooler pools down below hit the spot, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed this cave. I found it hard to believe this grotto exists.
With the water coming in over the top and the water a little cooler down here, you can look up at the falls and you can look down at the falls, and it's just a great place to hang out.
Anastasia and Manuel made the trip from Sun Valley, where they are working this summer on J1 visas. Now they have a unique Idaho memory they can hang on to when they return to Croatia.
Well, it's too hot, but when you get out, it's really good.
The wind on your skin, you know, you feel it when you get out. It's amazing.
It's really important to protect gems like this. People can camp, but they need to be at least 500 feet from the springs. Please practice leave no trace principles and go ahead and bring an adult beverage. Just don't bring it in glass containers.
I'm your Idaho Backroads neighborhood reporter Steve Dent for Idaho News 6.
Sophia Cruz with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
All right, good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. It is nice to see your face on this Friday, and we're getting our weekend started together. I've been here at the Western Idaho Fair this morning, and it's a little chilly, so I put on my jacket. If you are heading out for your early start to the day, it's going to be a little chilly waking up, but by the afternoon, you won't need this. Now, taking a look right now, we are looking at a more southwesterly flow, which is also going to bring in some scattered showers as we head into this afternoon. Now, you'll notice that if you make your way into Washington and Oregon, we're looking at a little bit of rain moving through the area, but for us and for today, it's going to be a pretty dry day ahead. Here's a look at the village of Meridian, another view of our skies. Those cumulus clouds waking up with us this morning, so is the sun, and mid-60s. So enjoy the nice cooler weather while it's sticking around. The afternoons are still looking toasty. All right, let's talk about our future smoke, because this is going to be something you notice throughout your afternoon. We are looking at some light smoke move through the later afternoon into the evening by 6 o'clock. As we start to make our way into tomorrow morning, it'll be a little bit clearer for a second, and then you'll slowly see that light to moderate smoke build in. So you'll start to notice it more so into your Saturday, especially if you're along eastern Idaho. But as far as our air quality goes, we are still looking good. We could possibly see it move more towards a moderate category as we head into tomorrow, but right now, still okay for any outdoor activities you may have. Okay, so our red flag warning, we do still have this in place. This is through 9 o'clock today, continues to be extended. Today we're looking at it extended because we have scattered showers moving through later this evening along southeastern Idaho. Because of this and their outflow gusts, they could be upwards towards 65 miles per hour. Now, that means that you need to secure anything loose outside of your home and avoid outdoor burning today. We will pick up a breeze as we move into the afternoon and evening. It'll mostly just complement the weather though, and then by tomorrow it'll get a little bit gustier out there with wind gusts upwards towards 20 miles per hour. Things calm though significantly as we head into Sunday. So moving you through your day. Nice quiet start waking up. There are those late evening storms that could have outflow gusts again upwards towards 65 miles per hour. So this is moving south into the Magic Valley and Magic area. It's fleeting. By Saturday morning, it's just a cloudy start to the day, and then we see some scattered showers move through Saturday afternoon and into the evening. Now, a lot of this will mainly be over eastern Oregon and into those west central mountains. It looks like they will pack a punch as we head into our Saturday, and then by Sunday again we'll see that same chance. So I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe see a little bit more rain into the upper Treasure Valley by Sunday, but overall it's going to be a pretty quiet weekend, and notice there's barely any rain chances on there because it's again not looking to really affect us. But by next week, we do see temperatures rise towards the mid-90s Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so it is going to get a little toastier next week. Okay, it's Friday. Let's get you ready for the best commute of the week.
The Idaho News 6 traffic report is brought to you by Champion Windows.
Okay, it is 6:49 and we are giving you a live look of downtown. The sun is waking up with us this morning. It's Friday. TGIF, we have to say it a lot on Fridays because thankfully our weekend is getting started. The roads look pretty nice and quiet right now. I haven't noticed too much change. So if you're traveling right now, getting that early start to your Friday morning, you've got between 12 to 7 minutes on I-84 eastbound. So it's a nice, smooth start waking up here.
The Brian Koberger case has left a lot of questions unanswered. He confessed to killing 4 University of Idaho students in 2022 and took a plea deal to avoid the death penalty. But one of the world's top DNA experts, Greg Hampikian, says he would have liked to have seen how the evidence played out. And he says DNA in this case was anything but conclusive.
And one of our state experts told the court that they could tell how the DNA got, say, onto that knife sheath. And we can't.
Tune in Monday on Good Morning Idaho for more with Hampikian, including why he says anyone who is part of a genealogical database like 23andMe or any of the others has very little assurance that their information is protected.
Now we'll look outside from the Treasure Valley Chevy Dealers Tower Cam.
In this morning's GMA First Look, saved from a burning car.
Where you at?
69-year-old Mary Frances McLord says she was driving along a remote New York highway around 4 a.m. in early June when she fell asleep at the wheel, her SUV rolling over, pinning her inside as it caught on fire. That's when 23-year-old Nathan Felix says he happened to be passing by when he saw McLord's car and jumped out to help, pulling her out.
Come on, you gotta get up.
This morning, GMA reuniting the woman trapped in the burning car and the Good Samaritan who saved her life.
It was overwhelming what this young man did. What young person runs up to a vehicle that is now caught on fire and still tries to get somebody out of it?
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have much more on this harrowing caught-on-camera rescue. With your GMA First Look, I'm Allison Kosick, ABC News, New York.
The Idaho News 6 Allergy Report is brought to you by Boise Valley Asthma and Allergy Clinic.
All right, it is 6:54. If you are planning to head outside today, hopefully you are. It's nice and sunny, quinopod, grass, and it just overall looks like a low category for our allergies. So we are looking in smooth shape here. I'll keep you up to date as we continue through our allergy season together.
All right, thanks, Sophia. Welcome back to Good Morning Idaho. We are just wrapping up now, and in case you missed it, these are the top stories we're following from our neighborhood reporters.
The new interchange at State Highway 16 and Highway 44 will transform travel in the Treasure Valley. ITD says they're doing their best to inform the public and minimize impact, but drivers should still be aware of what's to come. A Star neighbor speaks out on the good this will do for Idaho, but also has some concerns as a nearby local.
Outside the new Oahe Early Childhood Learning Center, it may look like construction is in full swing. But inside, final preparations are underway to welcome Boise's youngest students.
We first reported in April 2024 on Oahe's transition from a K-6 school. Renovations began this summer and have transformed the school into a preschool-ready space. Families are invited to get a sneak peek of the center Friday, and school begins Monday.
This one has been on my list of things to do for a long time.
Goldbug Hot Springs is a natural gem in between Salmon and Chalice, and it takes a hike from the Idaho backroads to soak in these springs. But with so many different pools and waterfalls, it's easy to see why Goldbug draws so many visitors every year.
And of course, you can learn more about all of these stories on our website. Just head to idahonews6.com.
Now, the Out the Door forecast, brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors.
We have a live shot too. That's really pretty. All right, it's 6:56 and we are starting our morning together. Now, it is going to be a sunny afternoon ahead with upper 60s to upper 80s as we head into this afternoon. We'll stop at the lower 90s as you make your way into the evening. Nice start to the day, but it is Friday also, so let's get you ready for your Friday morning commute.
The Idaho News 6 traffic report is brought to you by Champion Windows.
All right, it's 6:57, and as we start to take our way out, or take our way into our Friday, my Friday brain is really Fridaying right now. You've got 94 CUNA Meridian eastbound lanes starting to pick up just a bit. Westbound still looks pretty nice and cool. As far nice and cool. Temperature, I'm in temperature mode, and now we're in traffic mode. All right, Carter Road, you got a little bit of slope if you are heading into that west and eastbound road. Otherwise, it's a pretty quiet start to our day rolling. We got this really good shot of the moon. Maybe we can pull it back up, Lindsay, the moon. Oh, it's under a cloud now, but it was a nice shot of the moon and the sun, and that's the kind of morning we're having here, and I like when you can see both in the same sky.
I know, that's the way things go on live shots sometimes. Anyone out there thinks that they're kind of out of whack this morning, just you're in good company because, right, Sophia? Look at that. Oh, that's gorgeous out there.
Yeah, look, can you see the moon? Isn't it awesome? It's such a beautiful start to the day and a good way to kick off the Western Idaho Fair. So if you're heading out, also just take a look at the clouds. This looks super awesome. It's a gorgeous start to our day and it's nice and cool rolling out here. So I'm excited to see all the people come out to the fair today.
I've always said Idaho has the best skies in the world. Sophia, thanks so much. We appreciate it and enjoy your weekend, everybody. There's so much going on. You got the 36th annual Albertsons Boise Open, Leonard Skinnard tonight, and of course the fair hitting and starting this weekend. So it's going to be a great weekend. Enjoy it, and we'll see you back here next week.